All right, the First in the Nation caucus begins in 2 hours. The results are expected to start rolling in very soon after that. The presidential candidates are using every precious hour to meet people, to speak to them and convince them to make their way to local precincts and to caucus tonight. Oh, we've got our news team fanned out across central Iowa from the Caucus Command Center at Iowa Event Center to GOP and Democratic precincts in the city, the suburbs, and town. Iowans will battle the coldest temperatures in caucus history this evening. The wind chill, double digits below zero. That means frostbite can set in within minutes of exposed skin. Now, before we get to our crews, let's start with meteorologist Chris Kubal with what you need to know before you walk out the door tonight to caucus. Go figure, the night we really want to get outside. It's so cold.
Yeah, it's the warmest in a 3-night stretch, too, believe it or not. Our coldest caucus night, a low of 4 degrees below. We were 17 below this morning, so hands down, easily the coldest on record. We did briefly pop above zero this afternoon, but right back down below. In fact, for most communities in the state, those wind chills hanging out right now about 20 to 25 degrees below, and we're going to see those numbers fall over the course of this evening. So as you are heading out to your caucus site, you can expect around that 25 to 30 degree below zero range. Tonight, the air temperatures once again targeting double digits below. Still some issues on the travel scene too. Not so much the main roads, those are in good order, but county roads, gravel roads, still some high impact even into eastern Iowa. Still some completely covered roads with ice and snow, some issues left over from our blizzard from the end of last week. Hard to believe, but that is the case. Over the next 3 days, we're looking at temperatures trying to bounce back. Are we getting rid of these sub-zero temperatures by night? We'll let you know coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. And it's been a long road to get to this day. We have covered all the presidential candidates leading up to these caucuses. They are all competing for one thing. They have their eyes on the White House. This is a live look in Washington, D.C. In November, voters will cast their ballot on who will become our next president. Local 5's Chanu Hare is joining us live from the Iowa Event Center, which is where all the local and national media gather to cover the caucus. It's a very busy place. Chanu, really all eyes on Iowa tonight.
Yeah, and it's evident if you come out here to the Iowa Event Center, media from all over the world here today to show us what it looks like here at the Iowa Event Center. So far, though, not a whole lot going on outside of media coverage right now, but things should pick up later on tonight when things get a little bit busier. But so far, though, Stephanie, I have seen several different politicians walk through, from Asa Hutchinson. Eric Trump just walked through here. Keep in mind the Trump watch party is here at the Iowa Event Center, so it's busy in that aspect. But so far, though, haven't seen a whole lot going on behind me there on the stage, but we'll continue to keep an eye on all of this for you right here on Local 5 News. Keep in mind, though, like Chris mentioned, Stephanie, like you mentioned, very cold out there today, record for caucus day, but it looks like people are still going to be making their way out here to the Iowa to caucus, so we'll continue to keep an eye on this, bring you the latest as things pick up throughout the night. Stephanie?
Get very busy once those votes are counted. All right, Chanu, thank you so much. Appreciate that update. Here's some important information that you need to know in order to caucus tonight. First, you do need to be registered for the party you want to caucus for. However, for Republicans, you can register to vote at your caucus location on the night of. Tonight you can do this, but you will need a valid form of ID and a proof of address, something like a lease, a bill, or a bank statement. You also need to know which county you're registered to vote in. Your caucus precinct coincides with your polling place for regular elections. Finally, for Republicans, whether you are already registered or planning to register today, you'll need to bring a valid form of ID regardless. So that can be an Iowa voter ID card, a driver's license, U.S. military or veteran ID, a passport, or a tribal ID card or document. Now, there are many precinct locations across the state. It's important to note they may be different than where you typically vote in an election, so check the state party website before you head out to verify where you should be caucusing tonight. We find Local 5's Larissa Leone at one of tonight's Democratic caucus precincts, North High School in Des Moines. Hey, Larissa.
Hey, Stephanie. So right now we're at North High, like you just said, and it looks like a normal school cafeteria, but eventually tonight at 6, it will be a Democratic precinct. And also just a couple doors down in the auditorium, there'll be a Republican precinct in the same location. So we're going to be talking with caucus goers, new and former, returning, and we're also going to be talking with them about the cold weather and how they feel this season has shaken out. And then we'll head over to Nikki Haley at her watch party. We'll kind of see how those results are trickling in for the GOP side. So a lot of fun in store for us, but we'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Larissa, thank you very much. And Local 5's Dana Searles is live at Indianola Middle School, also a Republican precinct. Dana, what are you seeing out there so early in the evening?
Hey, Stephanie. Well, it's pretty quiet out here right now. I'm in the Indianola Middle School cafeteria. We actually just had some precinct volunteers coming in, so they'll start getting set up in a few minutes here. Earlier, just a few minutes ago, actually, there was somebody who came in ready to caucus. So it's important to know that the doors won't open until 6 o'clock, and the caucus will start right at 7 o'clock, and it'll be a full process listening to people speak. So a little bit confused about that. One of the caucus goers who came in, but we were able to clear that up. Iowa.com has all of the coverage on how to caucus, what you can expect going into it. We'll be here at 6 o'clock also talking to some of those volunteers, watching this happen, watching the caucus kind of get underway. And then after, we'll be going to DeSantis's watch party to see the results come in there. But for now, we're live in Indianola. Dana Searles, Local 5 News.
Dana, thank you. And we want to take you out to all these precinct locations to give you a feel for turnout tonight and what voters are really looking for. In Des Moines East High School, another one of those locations we're going to be covering, and that is where we find Megan McPherson. Megan, what are you seeing there in your precinct?
Hey, Stephanie, good evening from East High School in Des Moines. As you mentioned, this is a Metro Republican precinct caucus site, which means that Des Moines Republicans will be coming here to decide who they want to see in the White House in 2024. We've got a few caucus goers, some early caucus goers trickling in, although doors don't open here for another hour. I asked those caucus goers, who are you caucusing for tonight? They told me with confidence they will be caucusing for former President Donald Trump. I asked them why. They spoke about things like the economy, also, issues with the border and things like that. And so we've already got some early Trump goers, but of course that's not the only person that people can caucus for tonight. Of course, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, 2 other people that they can caucus for tonight. We'll be with you more later in the evening as we continue to talk to caucus goers. Stephanie?
Megan, thank you. As we continue our coverage, Local 5's Connor O'Neill is out at Winterset High School. Democrats will be caucusing there later on tonight, and it's a different process this year. But Connor, what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, Stephanie, well, we're at Winterset High School, like you said. The middle school across the street is where the Democrats will be caucusing later tonight. Now, some Democrats that I've talked to in the past, they're fine with President Biden right now, but there are some who are concerned with his age. There are other issues that some Democrats have with the direction of this country and with the party, one of them being affordability of health care, and with that, access and rights for abortion rights. And another issue that some Democrats that I've spoke with are with gun violence and public safety, and with that, with ghost guns. Those are homemade guns. There are some Democrats I've spoke to that want people who own these ghost guns to have them reported to officials because they believe that that will help curb gun violence in this country. Now, we're going to continue talking to Democrats. We're over at that precinct station later tonight. But for now, in Winterset, Connor O'Neill, Local 5 News.
All right, Connor, thank you. Yes, the candidates these people are caucusing for tonight are fighting through the 11th hour right now to rally support. Former President Trump, who has consistently led the polls over the last several months, was feeling confident this morning, telling reporters he is sure his supporters will come through with a win in Iowa tonight.
We've won it twice, as you know, 2 elections, and I think we're going to have a tremendous night tonight. The people are fantastic, and I've never seen spirit like they have countrywide, but in Iowa, I've never seen spirit.
Meanwhile, one of the former president's top contenders, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, has been pushing hard for voter turnout ahead of this evening. Experts have called DeSantis's and Nikki Haley's efforts essentially a race for second place tonight because Trump is so many points ahead in polling.
Well, we're going full throttle. We got door knockers still going door to door. We got people making phone calls. I've been doing media basically all day, encouraging Iowans to come out and participate in the caucus. You're never going to have an opportunity where your vote is going to pack more of a punch than it will tonight.
At a campaign stop at the Drake Diner in Des Moines this morning, Nikki Haley was asked if she believes DeSantis should drop out because he and Haley are nearly in a dead-neck tie in recent polls. But Haley insists she's not even worried about him and believes in her own campaign.
I've never said when somebody should get out of the race. It's very personal to get into a race like this. It's very personal to get out. We've been focused on our race. We've been focused on our message. We've been focused on talking to real voters. My opponents can do whatever they want to do. We're going to keep on going until we win.
Biotech entrepreneur and Woke Inc. author Vivek Ramaswamy made a name for himself this campaign cycle with his fiery debate jabs and unique policy positions. In particular, Ramaswamy has spoken extensively about eliminating long-standing federal agencies like the FBI, as well as raising the voting age to 25. Here was his final message to voters.
We've been taught to celebrate the differences while forgetting the ways that we are the same. That's what we're going to revive, and the way we're going to do it is by all of us. Not just me, not just Apurva, not just Steve King and Steve Holt. All of us. Starting to speak the truth in the open again.
Now, the Democratic process is different this year. While there won't be in-person presidential preference voting, party business will be conducted in person tonight at those precinct locations. Democrats instead will vote via a presidential preference card. You can do that now until Monday, February 19th. Those Democratic results will then be released on Super Tuesday, March 5th. After the Iowa caucus ends tonight, what's next? Which state goes next? And when is Super Tuesday?
After tonight's Iowa caucus, all eyes will turn to New Hampshire. The Granite State will be the next to cast votes in the first primaries of the election season on January 23rd, followed by South Carolina Democrats on February 3rd, then Nevada on February 6th and 8th, and then back to the Palmetto State on the 24th as the Republicans cast their votes. Michigan will head to primaries February 27th. Idaho and Missouri Republicans caucus March 2nd, followed by North Dakota on March 4th, and then a day later, the biggie. 14 states, including Texas, voting on Super Tuesday. That's also the date we'll hear the results of the Iowa Democratic caucus.
If you're unable to catch our live coverage, you can text the word caucus to the number on your screen. That is 515-457-1026. You'll get all the information you need before and after the event straight to your phone. A Local 5 is on your side with a full day of coverage ahead. We'll be here all night. We'll be at the precincts giving you team coverage on air, but you can also stay informed with our continuous coverage at weareiowa.com and We Are Iowa Plus streaming starting at 7 p.m.